looks like this is going. Do you want to introduce yourself and the name of your poster and what you're presenting today?
Sure. My name is Will Huffman. I'm with Duke University and specifically with Warren Grill's lab. My poster is on using vagus nerve stimulation to modulate both peripheral immunity and central immunity within the central nervous system and effects on cognition.
Okay, yeah. So tell me more. How does this work?
So the project is basically split up into developing a novel method for vagus nerve stimulation. So instead of doing an invasive procedure where we implant a cuff electrode, we use a percutaneous approach where we guide a needle electrode to the cervical branch of the vagus nerve using an ultrasound imaging system. We can confirm that we are activating the vagus nerve through bradycardia, which acts as a real-time biomarker, and through CFOS activation within the brainstem regions where the vagus nerve projects to.
So the advantage of this is instead of a cuff electrode, which stimulates all around the outside, you can go directly to the point of the nerve that you think has what you want to stimulate, something like this?
The advantage is really cutting out the invasive surgical procedure, reducing the invasiveness, while still maintaining the efficacy of electrical stimulation, direct electrical stimulation of the vagus nerve. So through this, we are able to sort of combine the efficacy of the invasive method while not inducing the tissue damage and inflammatory response associated with the surgical procedure.
So the invasiveness is something along the lines of a needle injection, something like this?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so through musculature and through other soft tissue within the neck. Yeah.
Okay. And what are some of your results? What have you found?
So we found that we get established endpoints of vagus nerve stimulation, so regulation of peripheral immunity, specifically in a mouse model of endotoxemia, we see a reduction in TNF-alpha levels in plasma. We also see activation of those brainstem regions where afferent fibers project to and efferent fibers project from, specifically the solitary nucleus and the dorsal motor nucleus of the vagus. With the central immunity, we see a reduction in microglia activation through its morphology in specific hippocampal regions, so specifically the dentate gyrus, CA1, and CA3. We then connected those findings with cognitive outcomes, where we saw an improved cognitive performance in different behavioral studies in mice that underwent the VNS procedure after this endotoxemia model.
Okay. Very cool. And what are some next steps?
So the next steps, we are able to see some effects from vagus nerve stimulation. The real big story now is how exactly those work. Is it purely an endpoint of regulation of peripheral immunity? Are there central effects that we just don't quite understand yet? I think once we identify those pathways and understand them a little bit better, we can work towards optimizing this for better therapies.
Okay, very cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you.